Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Freedom Shift. This is Janet Clark, and I am here today. We are going to be talking about why you need a great mentor. Now, as many of you know, I am all about creating a life of freedom as a coach and a consultant. In fact, every year, I make a resolution to find the one thing that I'm going to invest in my business that's going to give me greater freedom. And today, I want to share with you how having the right mentor has been the key to creating a business that allows me to have a life of freedom. So let me go back a little bit and share with you the evolution of the Freedom Shift and how things have been going with this business over the past 3 years. So actually we're into the 4th year now. But let's start with 2016. Now, I was floundering around at that point and I was trying to figure out, what do I want this business to look like? You know, I guess you could say that I didn't know what I didn't know, which is truly, right, the first stage in the competence model, which is known as that unconscious incompetent. And my mentor at the time, who was very connected in the online training and coaching world, suggested to me that I go and sell for other coaches. So in 2016, I actually spent an entire year learning how to sell high-ticket, high-transformation programs for other coaches. So I was taking sales calls, I was perfecting my skills, and I was developing what has now come to be known as my heart flow sales process. And if you missed last week's episode, go back and listen to it, because I actually give the entire anatomy of the heart flow sales process in that episode. So what I was learning by doing. And I wasn't new to sales at all, but I was new to this new transformational coaching world. And it was a different type of selling, because throughout my career in corporate and then my many years as an entrepreneur running my own B2B sales agency, I was selling into businesses. Now, as I mentioned before, selling into businesses is a different kind of sale. Because when I'm selling to somebody who's not using their own money to make the buying decision, I'm hitting different hot buttons with that person. Yes, they want to make a good decision because they want to maintain their job and their reputation within the company, and they have a fiscal responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to that company. However, when you're talking to somebody who is a business owner, a CEO of their own company, an entrepreneur, you are talking to somebody who is investing in a dream. They're investing in their own life purpose. It's much bigger, and it's a totally different kind of a decision. So I learned this by actually doing it. I was selling for other coaches. And it was truly an eye-opening experience. And I learned what I didn't know, which moved me to the next stage, really, where I became the conscious incompetent. So at that point, I knew what I didn't know. And that was good because it opened my mind, right? So when I was selling for other people, I got this opportunity to really learn what the marketplace was all about, really learn how marketing and sales have to align. And I'm going to be talking about that in a future episode coming up soon, about how to really integrate and align your marketing and your sales. But that was something that I didn't really know, because online marketing was new to me. And so I was actually able to get the cash flow that I really needed to grow my business. Not to mention that I was making an incredible living, which was helping me to develop financial freedom. So back to the mentor. Why was that important? Well, up to that point, I had started the Freedom Shift a year or two before that, and I had built the business into something that I did not like. So I was running a business that was literally the job from hell that I created for myself. And I'll talk about that in another episode, how I created my first job from hell with the Freedom Shift. But I was at that point in time recognizing that just because I could build a business and make money did not mean that I was fulfilling my desire to make an impact in the world. So when I got the right mentor, it was really somebody who could really help me to holistically look at what I was trying to create in my life and be able to listen to my inner voice. And actually, that program that I hired this mentor through was called Inner Voice. And I don't think it's still going on, but the person that I mentored with, his name is Doug Brown, he still is a coach. He does a lot of work in the B2B world, and I still do work with him. So he was extremely instrumental in getting me connected with those other coaches and consultants who I could sell for. Now, I talk to salespeople all the time because I have two sides to my business. One is the coaching, consulting work that I do with the coaches who I help to grow and scale their businesses and sell their high ticket offers. But the other side is that I have the High Ticket Sales Alliance, where I have a whole group of salespeople who I mentor and match with these coaches and consultants. And so very often I say to the salespeople that one of the great ways to really learn about what you want to do if you're thinking about maybe someday starting your own coaching company is to actually start selling for somebody else and to get really good at it. And to find out what it is that is really going to motivate you to be able to launch your coaching business in a way that is impactful to the world, right? It's filling your higher purpose. So that mentor was great for me. He's somebody that I still network with, and it made all the difference in turning my business from something that wasn't fulfilling me into getting me to a point where I was ready to evolve into a new offer that was going to be impactful. So that was 2016. In 2017, I knew that I needed to start thinking about building my own coaching business. And that meant that I needed to have an online presence, and I needed to learn how to position myself as an expert on social media and online. And believe me, I was not very savvy when it comes to social media. It just wasn't in my generation. So for me, Facebook was a way to check up on what my kids and my grandkids were doing, and kind of that was it, really. I mean, I had a few friends on Facebook, and they were really just acquaintances or relatives, right? Or friends of my friends, kids' friends, and that sort of thing. So I recognized that that was the big need that I had at that point in my evolution with my business. So I hired a mentor and got into a program and a community of people who were building their coaching businesses and getting their online presence established. And that was extremely impactful for me to be able to do that, because now I was actually able to get some leads that were coming through my social media connections. What I learned in 2017 was how to do organic lead generation. More than anything, I learned how to put my online webinar out there and to actually have a funnel where people would come through and book a call with me. Now, I did spend a lot of money that year on Facebook ads that didn't really get the right clients to me. Again, that's another subject for another podcast. But what I did do is I did build a very lucrative six-figure business organically. And so the people who were enrolling with me to work with me were people who were coming through my funnel, as well as people who were coming to me through the community that I was in, that was headed up by my mentor. So one of the other really big reasons to have a mentor is because you're going to get introduced to a whole new level of people who are in the community of that mentor. So that was really important. In 2018, I realized that I needed to invest in a team and I needed to create systems. And so I got a mentor who was able to help me to get these systems built into my business, to understand what the roles were going to look like, who was going to do what, how I was going to establish the criteria for the work, and who was responsible for what parts of the projects that we were working on, and how to even define those projects. And so it was all about kind of the internal systems that needed to be built. So now I couldn't do everything organically anymore. Now I was going to have to get someone who could help me to move beyond that and to actually create automation and put those automated systems in my business. So that really was what my mentor in 2018 was great at and was able to help me to see. And it changed a lot of my mindset too by working with this mentor. And then finally, this year, 2019, is the year that I'm getting out from behind my computer, which is the year of freedom, right? I mean, I got financial freedom in 2016 because I was selling for other people, which I still do that too, by the way, just not quite as much. In 2017, I got the lifestyle freedom because I was actually able to start generating business online. In 2018, I was able to get time freedom because I started putting some systems in and I got a team built. And finally, in 2019, it's really about putting it all together and being able to get out, because what really floats my boat is, number one, doing this podcast. I love that I'm connecting with all of you out there. And this is something that I can do once a week, but then it hits on all cylinders, right? So I do this podcast, but then this information gets disseminated so many different ways and becomes all kinds of content that goes out on my various social media platforms, which is just amazing. So now I'm actually able to be free to get out more and to go to events and to network more. And I have high-level coaches now who are running high-level network that I belong to and able to work with me at a level that is feeding my soul in a way. Like, what do you want this business to look like? How are we going to get you there? Who are we going to connect you up with? And really, the mentorship has been so much about this connecting with people. So I want to kind of go through what are the things that a mentor is really going to do for you, why you should have a mentor. So, the mentor that you really want to work with is the person that is ahead of you and where you need to go next in your business. So you need that person that's been there and done that and has seen the pitfalls for what you're trying to do, because they're the ones that are going to stop you from making the mistakes. And I speak to a distressing number of entrepreneurs who are trying to build their business without getting that kind of guidance. And they end up going in circles, floundering around, wasting valuable time, and it costs them a lot of money in lost income that they could have literally recouped in sales. So I'm going to talk about the 7 reasons why you should have a mentor. And I didn't actually come up with these myself. I actually read an article at one point in Entrepreneur Magazine that really struck me. And so I want to share these 7 reasons with you and elaborate just a little bit on each one. So the first one is that the mentor helps you gain experience that you are never going to be able to get from reading a book or taking an online course. And really, experience is a very expensive asset, right? This person has gone through the experience that they can then shortcut your process with. And so you can only gain so much from a person's experience by reading a book or taking a training course, as well as the fact that when you're working with a mentor, you're getting the insider scoop. You're getting the real personal experiences, some of the things that were painful that they might not share in a training program. So there's a more intimate relationship that you're going to get that is really going to help you to maximize how you go forward with your business over the course of the next year without having to make a lot of mistakes that somebody else may have already made and can alleviate from you having to go in that way. So mentoring really provides you with that brain to pick, an ear to listen, and sometimes a push in the right direction. Now, the second reason that you should have a mentor is that you're more likely to succeed if you have a mentor. There was actually a survey done back in, I think it was 2013, that said that 80% of CEOs said they received some form of mentorship. And in another research study that was done, 93% of startups said that they had mentorship, that mentorship was actually instrumental to their success. So we know that 80% of businesses fail. And we know that the reason that people fail is because they don't have mentors. You know, why do you think that some entrepreneurs choose to go the franchise route? Well, the reason is because they get mentorship from somebody who's already done what they're trying to do. So the chances of your success in business can be amplified by having the right mentor. So what you get is you get valuable connections because your mentor gets to introduce you, obviously, to their connections. You get timely advice. You get the check-in and the accountability that are so important, that guidance. And sometimes the guidance that you're getting is not just business related, but it really helps you from a personal level, from a spiritual level, morally, to think through things, decisions that have to be made as you are launching and growing your company and scaling it. The third thing is, with the right mentor, you're going to get networking opportunities. Now, your mentor is going to have a network of people who they have already gathered who are more successful than you. And because of that, you are going to have access to those people through your mentor. And since your mentor is already invested in your success, it only makes sense for them to let you tap into their network of people when the need arises. So they will open doors for you that you could literally not get through on your own. And this is hugely important. In fact, I can talk to you about just this week. One of the clients that I'm working with really had been contacting somebody and having a back and forth discussion about enrolling this person into his program. And because this person is somebody that I was mentoring, in fact, both of the people are people that I'm mentoring, I was able to make that connection happen, make that sale happen. So it wasn't that I did anything spectacular, except that I stepped in and I endorsed that this person who was looking to purchase the services of the other person should do it. And it made all the difference in the world. And that sale got closed because of that. So when you have the right mentor, they're going to really be able to have influence to get people to work with you. And the best way that your mentor can really prepare you is to expose you to other great people that they already know. So the fourth reason to have a mentor is that they're going to give you reassurance. Now, it has been proven by research that a quality mentorship has a powerful positive effect on entrepreneurs. Having someone to guide you and placate your fears because they have years of experience is going to help you to keep your focus on success rather than wigging out on fear. Because every time we're sitting in fear, we're not moving forward. So if you can have somebody come in and alleviate your fear, all the better. High self-confidence is what you're looking for, and that is what you're going to get when you have a good mentor. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability in you than you see in yourself, and they're going to help bring it out of you. That's a quote from Bob Proctor, right? And that is so very true. Number 5 is that a mentor is going to help you to stay in business longer. So when you imagine the number of businesses that fail, you'd wonder why a lot of these business owners don't have mentors. Because at every stage of your business, I don't care if you're in the first year, the second year, the fifth year, if you're growing from 7 figures to 8 figures, there are new challenges at every stage of growing. So wherever you are, you need somebody who can take you to the next level because they've already been there. So a lot of people actually have gone further than they thought they could because somebody else was able to believe in them and take them there. So when you don't have that belief in yourself, you're going to rely on your mentor to have that belief in you. So number 6 is that a mentor will help you to develop a stronger emotional quotient. So what does that mean? Well, emotional intelligence is crucial to entrepreneurial success. So when you are feeling emotionally distraught or you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, you will become caught up in the emotion of that. And one of the quickest ways to fail in business is to start making emotional decisions because you're overwhelmed or you're confused. So when this happens, one of the greatest values of having a mentor is their ability to see ahead and to know what you need to do in order to navigate this course so that you can get yourself out of that point of overwhelm. And finally, the last reason to have a mentor, or I don't know, maybe there's more than we that are even here, but is the encouragement that you're going to get. And we all need that encouragement to weather our hard times, to keep our head held high, and to feel like we can continue to keep our eye on the goal that we are going to achieve. So when a mentor has already experienced the highs and lows of running a business, they're in a perfect position to give us the soothing words, right? To continue to keep us focused on the bigger vision that we want to achieve. So you really want a mentor who truly cares about you and really wants you to succeed, and someone that's going to be there for you to make sure that you get to that next level. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you are out there and you've got a great business going and you have outgrown your mentor and you know that the next thing that's going to get you to the next level is maybe to find someone who's already there, then I hope this wakes you up a little bit and stirs you. If you're a coach or a consultant and you are struggling along out there without a mentor, then it is definitely worth the investment. So another day, I'm going to talk to you about how I was shocked one day when I actually realized, looking back over all the revenue that I had ever generated since I've ever been in this coaching world, and realized that 80% of that revenue came from referrals and the network of my mentors. And even though all of these other forms of online marketing are happening and I'm generating business organically and all of that, the bulk of my financial freedom has been directly as a result of the mentors who I have chosen to work with. So if that doesn't convince you that you should have a mentor, I guess nothing's going to convince you. But it's super important. And that's my message to you for today. Hope you enjoyed listening to me. And I will be back next week with another episode of The Freedom Shift. Bye for now.